How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we are going to be continuing my Sharks of Summer series. Basically, in honor of the summer, I'm going to be trying to do at least one shark movie every single week for the duration of summer, at least because there's actually, looking at my big pile of shark movies, quite a few shark movies that I want to cover, so, yeah, at least one a week, but maybe more. And this time we have Trailer Park Shark from 2017. This stars Thomas Ian Nicholas and Dennis Haskins and features an appearance by Tara Reid. But before we get into it, there's something I need to say about that. Tara Reid is featured front and center on the movie's front cover, and her name is listed second right there up at top. She is really just in two scenes primarily. She may have been in the background somewhere else, but basically you get two scenes with her in this movie, more of like an extended cameo than anything else. Now the character she plays is really fun, is really cool, full of life and energy, and the two scenes that she's in I really did like. But that being said, don't expect her to be the star of this movie. She is just more of an extended cameo, a fun extended cameo, but not really the star of this movie. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the plot of this movie. I'm not going to be doing any major spoilers, but I do want to say my piece on a few plot points and make sure you guys have a basic understanding as to what this movie's about. We open up on Soggy Meadows Trailer Park. It's a trailer park by the swamp there, and right off the bat, this place is really fun and cool. I really did like the setting of this movie. We get to take a look at the trailer park, and the set is fun and full of life, and the characters are fun and full of life, both being friendly and fighting with each other, and there's tons of little jokes, and you do get a pretty cool long shot walking through the trailer park and meeting all these characters and understanding the setting. Overall, a really cool place and a fun opening. And little teases at who your characters might be and what they think of each other. And that is, fun. We meet our main character there, who is pretty quickly a likable guy. I really do like this main character. They make it where he fits in and he's friends with the rednecks, and right off the bat, he has some charisma about him where you really do like following your main character around, which is very important. But he is kind of your redneck handyman. He'll fix stuff, but it'll always be in, a funny redneck way. Get some duct tape jokes out the back there. There is one joke at the beginning like, oh yeah, he fixed the AC in my car, and you see he's strapped a big home AC unit to the side of the car with duct tape. It's funny and, cool. And we see him. He is with his uncle. You see, in the middle of a lake, there's, I don't know why it's in the middle of the lake, but there's a windmill, and this windmill is generating electricity, and him and his uncle have this big cable, and they're going to attach their cable to this windmill to siphon off some electricity and get the trailer park free, clean power. So that's pretty cool, but why they want to do this is because there's an evil landlord, a really rich character who is putting the squeeze on all these trailer park residents, and they need to get, save any money they possibly can. So if they tap into this windmill, they can save a little money and survive a little longer under this evil landlord's thumb. But overall, long and short, that doesn't really matter. You see, a storm's coming, and the landlord doesn't like his current residents. He wants to get rid of them so he can build something better there. Unfortunately for the evil landlord, there are laws protecting his tenants, so he thinks, there's a big storm coming, what if we take a bomb and we blow up the levee and flood the trailer park? That way I can put in whatever else I want to on this land. So he goes and does that, but our main character who's on his jet ski has a little GoPro on the front and gets a video of the bad guys doing this, aka evidence there. So that's going to pit them at ends, but right after the levee blows, a few things happen in quick succession that are crucial to the plot. One, a shark shows up, and this shark will do two things really, really quick. He will bite at the power cable. The bite sends a surge of electricity into his body, and as a result, this shark will randomly pulse electricity, and this can do things like knock characters out or make things explode, and gives the shark a little bit of a superpower. But two, he also chomps at the main character's ski-doo and eats the camera. So, if the main characters want to prove what the villain did, they have to get it out of the belly of the shark, which is quite a feat there. But because they know that the main character saw them, and because some trailer park people did survive, the villain sends his henchmen out after the remaining survivors to make sure he doesn't have any trouble later on. Now, our main character has a little inflatable boat after his ski-doo is gone, and he floats down the river to see what remains of his trailer park. And here, we're going to talk about the movie's most unique and fun thing, its biggest strength that it has going for it, is this is Trailer Park Shark. Tagline, they're gonna need a bigger trailer. And this setting is really, really cool. Basically, the trailers got flooded downriver, and there's little groups of them every so often. So you get a few people on these trailers, and the trailers are just above water, and they're on top of their trailers talking to each other. It's a really cool and unique set. I'm a sucker for underwater sets. I mean, the underwater building in Dario Argento's Inferno, one of my favorite horror movie scenes. So a cool water set, but plus the idea that you're stuck on top of your trailer and you can't really get down. This also makes it kind of like the movie Tremors, where, you know, in Tremors they were stuck on top of rocks and buildings and stuff. So Tremors, but in a water shark setting. Really, really love this, and the idea that you can float down the river and meet different people, and people are getting into boats and hopping off trailers, and if you need something from inside your trailer, well, it's all flooded and you have to get down in there, and you have to worry about sharks whenever you're in the water. It's a really fun and cool set, and then plus there's like a, talk about floating down the river, there's a little dog on top of his doghouse like Snoopy, floating down the river, and it's just such a silly little thing there, and I really do love the set. It's so cool and different, and also to make things different than a lot of other shark movies, this does feature, like I said earlier, human villains. Now, they're not the biggest, most impressive thing, but it gives the plot a lot more to do and keeps it from slowing down. You do get the lead henchman who was formerly dating the main girl's girlfriend and was a member of the trailer park before he sold out to the villain to get out of there, you know? And that is a cool concept, and it does really keep the plot moving and give you some stuff to do. So overall, two relatively unique elements, a super unique set, and human villains have been done before, but it really does help keep the plot moving. So that is really good. But another big thing is the characters. A lot of the characters are super likable, and they have personality. And, you know, like I said, with some other low-budget movies, you get bad actors mumbling their way through lines. This is not that. All the characters have something they're going for, even if it doesn't always hit, and they're always over the top and energetic, and quite a bit of them you really do like, and they are really funny. There's personalities, and you get to see some of them like each other, some of them hate each other, and they can squabble and tell jokes, and, you know, you feel like they have a sense of a past there. These are really way better characters than a low-budget shark movie should have, I mean, granted, they're not perfect, they're not well thought out dramatic characters, but they're fun trailer park people to watch. Which leads me to another thing. This movie has pretty good humor. Now, some jokes are cringy, not all the jokes land, but there were a few moments that really did make me laugh. There's several redneck jokes, several duct tape jokes, obviously. I think one of the characters does say, "Get her done," but there's one joke that I really did like where, you know, the shark swallows the camera, and one of the characters says, "Well, don't worry, we can still retrieve it. Sharks have abnormally slow digestive systems." And then it cuts to, like, ADR, and he goes, "Don't ask me how I know that." And I'm like, just something about that line, it did get a chuckle out of me. And so this is actually fairly funny. Like I said, not all the jokes land. It's not a perfect comedy. It's not the secret, "Ooh, how did you guys miss this?" But it is pretty fun, you know, and that is a thing. Now, the one thing that is a bit of a flaw with this is the shark does have pretty bad CG. That is par for the course. It's not atrocious, but like the biggest example, when you see the shark swimming in the water, most of the time it doesn't interact with the water, so it makes it feel like it's drawn on top. But, you know, that is kind of par for the course, and if anything, it almost feels like another joke, and it makes it fit in with this modern wave of bad CGI shark movies. So yeah, even though it doesn't have any ripples in the water most of the time, it can be forgiven. But yeah, there is some bad CG in here, and that is worth noting. But with the shark, it does provide a pretty fun threat because you don't know where in the river it will be. And talk about humor and action, this really does have a fun final set piece. When you get to the very end of this movie, there are some pretty crazy moments. In particular, pretty close to the end, there is a sequence that's completely ridiculous, and I do love it. And overall, it was pretty fun, you know, and that's the thing with this movie. It does have bad CGI, not all the jokes land, and it's not super revolutionary. It's not this movie that, how did we miss this? It's the best thing ever. But it is pretty fun, and out of a lot of the low-budget CGI shark movies, there's a ton of them. This is definitely one of the better ones, and I really did have quite a bit of fun watching this. Like I said, don't get your hopes up way too high, but for what it is, it works pretty effectively, and I really do like this movie. It had way better than average characters. It had humor that landed a lot of the time. The unique set was super cool. Human villains kept the plot moving, and there's some cool, ridiculous moments at the end, and you'll... if you have a weird sense of humor like me, you'll probably like the silly finale. And overall, if you're into shark movies, if you're into the CGI shark crowd, this is definitely one to check out. Like I said, a lot of these modern CGI shark movies, there's so many of them, they kind of fade to the background. This is one of the best ones of this wave of films. And if you haven't seen it and you're into this type of thing, I would definitely recommend checking it out. This movie, a bunch of them did flood to the Dollar Tree, I believe, and if you see it there, definitely pick it up. But I'd recommend seeking this movie out. I think it played a lot on the Sci-Fi Channel, so you might find it there if you have Sci-Fi Channel streaming in one form or another. Definitely worth looking into, and I would definitely recommend this movie if you're the type of people that like CGI shark movies, goofy, silly horror. Definitely recommend checking out. This is one of the funner ones. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who likes and subscribes, thank you. You're really helping the channel out. I'll put a relevant playlist down here. If you want to see more, you can click there and see more. Should be some stuff that's in some way related to this. So anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.